Welcome back to the J All Day Show, everyone. In today's episode, we're going to do my final breakdown of the Dallas Cowboys mock draft for the 2024 season. We've been doing a ton of mock drafts for the Cowboys over the past month or so. The Cowboys have a lot of needs they have to fill, especially offensive line. I think interior defensive line and some linebackers, and maybe another wide receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. All right, Cowboys fans, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're marching closer and closer to 5,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you guys. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a Philadelphia Eagles jersey, but I love my Cowboys fans. There's no Muhammad Ali without Joe Frazier. You guys just happen to be Joe Frazier. All right, let's get into this Dallas Cowboys mock draft. Boom! Here we go, Cowboys fans. The final mock draft of the 2024 season. All right, we're looking at the board. Cowboys pick 24. I like Nate Wiggins. I love myself some Adonai Mitchell. Kool-Aid McKinstry. You could go Jackson Powers-Johnson, but he's a bit of a reach this early in the draft. The guy I'm looking at is Troy Fontenot from Washington. Very good player. He's only given up 3 sacks and almost 2,000 snaps over his college career. Pretty good pass blocker. 88.2, right? And I like Troy Fontenot because the Cowboys currently have Smith and Steele penciled in at the tackle positions, right? Neither of these guys is super elite. You throw Troy Fontenot into that mix, you have 3 guys for 2 spots. The best 2 guys are the tackles. And then if Troy Fontenot doesn't win by some crazy situation, which I don't think will happen, he can play guard and center, right? They need a center. They need guard help. Martin's getting older and older and older. He can play tackle. He's just a great, versatile player at this position in the draft. An 89 pass block grade. He's not the best run blocker or zone blocker, but he's a good player. He's an excellent pass blocker. This is a league where you need to know how to pass block. If you're an elite pass blocker, they can teach you how to run block a lot easier than they can teach you how to pass block. And him being able to play tackle, guard, and center, I love that kind of flexibility for a huge position of need for the Cowboys in the first round. I'm going with Troy Fontenot from Washington. All right, Cowboys fans, we're up in the second round, and the board has not done the Cowboys any favors. There's some guards there, running backs, some wide receivers. Not too many great players at positions of need right now for the Cowboys at pick 56. As I'm scanning the board, seeing who's left, who's not, interior defensive line seems really interesting to me. We got Rook from Clemson, and there was another guy I was looking at on the defensive line, the D lineman from Oregon, Brandon Dorlus. He's probably the best of the 2 players. Pass rush grade 76.8. Run defense grade 73.2. Pass rush win rate over 10%. I like to see it over 10% for the guys I want to draft. He's pretty solid over his whole career, pretty much 600 snaps every single year. He had 4 sacks this year, a career high. Good size, 6'3", 290. I want to see him put on a little bit of size. He can play in a 3-4 scheme, but he's probably better fit for 4-3. I like him in this position. I don't love the board right now, so I was going to go interior defensive line, but I just don't love the value there. They're just okay players. For second-round players, I want someone who can change my franchise or be a star. And to me, the only star left on the board is Xavier Worthy. He broke the combine record for 40 time. He's a really good receiver. His drop rate is in the middle of the road, around 6%. Receiving grade 72. He's a very young player. He's not even 21 yet, right? So he's going to learn a lot as time goes forward. 6'1", 172. And with that breakaway speed, it's going to open up some things for CeeDee Lamb. So this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I like Xavier Worthy in the second round to the Cowboys. All right, now round 3, pick 87. The Cowboys are on the board here. As I'm scanning the board, running back is some position that I'm really interested in right now. I like offensive line, interior offensive line specifically, and running back. They're the positions I really want to look at right now. I really love myself some Cooper Beebe. Audric Estime, I was looking at, he's on the board too. He could be a really excellent running back. There's some guard value later in the draft, but a guy like Audric Estime is just not going to be around later in the draft. 94 rushing grade. Cowboys fans, I know you guys love your running backs with Ezekiel Elliott, those type of players, Tony Pollard. Elliott was a superstar for you guys for years, and this is the same type of player in my opinion. Elusive rating over 120, 94 grade. That's so crazy. Yards 1,300. He averaged 6.4 yards per carry. That's crazy. And you gotta love his size. 5'11", 227 pounds. Look at all these pros. Great build. Ball security is excellent. He's got really good leg strength to work the goal lines. He's pretty light on his feet for how big he is. Audric Estime is going to the Cowboys in the 3rd round. So we went very offensive heavy these first 3 picks. So we really got to look towards the defensive side of the ball. We got our tackle. We got a wide receiver. We got a running back. So let's see how the board falls for us for defensive players. All right, Cowboys fans, we're at pick 174 in the 5th round. I want to add some interior defensive line help. And when I'm looking through all these players, they need linebackers. There's some good offensive linemen, but there's not a lot of interior defensive linemen I like in this draft. But Logan Lee is one of them. 78.4 grade this year. I can't believe he fell this far in the draft. 20 hurries is a ton of hurries, man. So he's almost getting to the quarterback, not quite getting him, but he's a guy that could have turned these 20 hurries into like 5 or 6 sacks if he would have had a little bit better of luck. 6'5", 291. He's got a big frame, right? He's got to add a little bit of size. I want to see him over 305, 310 pounds to be a real force in the middle on the defensive line, but I like Logan Lee. I think he could be a starter for the Cowboys at some point down the road. We're in the 6th round for the Cowboys. I want to add some cornerback depth to this team. They have Deron Bland. They have Diggs. He's coming off an injury, so we don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in. So as we're looking around, who is the best corner on the board? To me, it's Elijah Jones from Boston College. Man coverage grade, 90.8. When you're drafting an NFL quarterback, the thing I look for the most is, can this guy cover someone on an island? Can you go man-to-man, one-on-one, and compete with these NFL wide receivers? 91 grade man-to-man coverage. That's one of the best in the class, guys. To fall this late in the draft, I mean, 6'2", 184. He's got pretty decent size, too. He's a little bit older, so that means he's a little more experienced. His body's not going to get too much bigger. Maybe he'll be 190 pounds, but that's okay at the NFL level. I just really, really like this player. 91 man coverage grade. That's excellent. He took over some games at college. He played in a decent conference with Boston College. Played some pretty good schools. Florida State, Georgia Tech, Connecticut. I like Elijah Jones in the 6th round. You can't really beat that pick this late in the draft. The Cowboys have 2 7th round picks. Pick 233, pick 244. When you're picking this late in the draft, it's just best player available. Let's try to find a steal this late in the draft. I liked Solomon Byrd before. 81 grade, 7 sacks this year, 22 hurries, which is great for a USC defense that was not pretty good, but he was probably the best player on that defense. Pass rush win rate, almost 14%. That's excellent. He's just a good overall player everywhere. Add some edge help to Micah Parsons and Lawrence. I like this pick there. All right, the last pick of the draft for the Dallas Cowboys. I just want to say thank you to all you Cowboys fans that have been tuning into my mock drafts and my NFL coverage, even though I'm an Eagles fan. It means a lot. I love the competition between Eagles fans and Cowboys fans. It's my favorite time of the year when the Cowboys play the Birds. It's so much fun to watch. When you're drafting in the 7th round, you just want to find the best player available that can contribute on special teams and add some depth to a room of need. Linebacker could be that spot for the Cowboys right here. 74 pass rush grade, 70 run defense grade. He's just pretty good everywhere. He's not great. Missed tackle rate only at 5%. That's excellent. There's a lot of linebackers who I like a lot more than Nathaniel Watson, and their missed tackle rate is a lot higher than his. And he's a tackling machine, 71 tackles. I love this pick for the Cowboys. Here it is, Cowboys fans, my final mock draft for the Dallas Cowboys for the 2024 NFL Draft. Troy Fontenot, A+ grade in the 1st round. Xavier Worthy, A- grade. How is Audric Estime a D grade in the 3rd round? That's insanity. That's legitimate insanity. And then we did really good at the end of the draft too. Elijah Jones, linebacker Nathaniel Watson. I told you he was a really good player, man. We added some edge help. Total B+ grade for our Cowboys mock draft. I think we did pretty good. I think as a Cowboys fan, we needed to add probably a little more offensive line help, but there's some depth. So there might be a lot of really good undrafted interior offensive linemen. I think the Cowboys will be super busy with undrafted interior offensive linemen in this draft. I just want to say thank you to all you Cowboys fans for tuning into all these mock drafts this year. I'll be back next year doing mock drafts, but I do fantasy stuff. I'm going to do roster breakdowns, roster predictions. I do survivor pools. I do everything on this channel. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks so much. Peace.